What's up? It's the Benchwarmers, and we are continuing our first round NFL live reactions and coverage of the 2022 NFL first round. And there's a lot of really interesting picks which are going on. From 11 through 13, there were three straight trades from teams who had picks later in the first round, all of them to select wide receivers. And then at 13, the Eagles took Jordan Davis. As we're moving to this back half of the first round right now, we're moving to number 18 with after the Chargers just selected Zion Johnson, the Titans have made a trade for this pick up from, and they are giving up franchise star wide receiver AJ Brown, who's had over 1,000 yards in the past couple seasons. And this is likely due to contract disputes over his upcoming extension next year. The Titans simply don't have the money to match his increasing price ceiling, and he is going to the Philadelphia Eagles for this pick 18, along with a third-round pick. This is going to be really interesting, especially who the Titans decide to draft as his replacement here. They already have Robert Woods, who they got from the LA Rams this offseason. Let's see who they're able to get here. And they do draft his replacement. It's Treylon Burks, the wide receiver from Arkansas. Big body, a bit slow on the feet and in the drills, but he had some amazing performances, including one really awesome one versus Alabama, where he had nearly 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think Treylon Burks is going to be really good in the NFL. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, there were people saying that even with the Titans' later first round pick, they should take receiver because it's kind of a need for them outside of AJ Brown and Robert Woods. But I think now with AJ Brown gone, it pretty much has to be receiver. And AJ Brown is, Treylon Burks is definitely probably the best option available here. I know some people kind of like Christian Watson rising up recently because of that insane speed and height. But I think Treylon Burks has been one of the top names in terms of the wide receiver position for a long time. And he has the skills to back it up in terms of that physicality, that run after catch ability, and that ability to make insane aggressive catches. But I just think kind of the route running is kind of the only downside with him. But that's something that can be developed. So overall, I think there's a good replacement for AJ Brown here.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, he also has that running back ability, because in college in his last year, he had 15 or 16 carries for over 100 yards in total. So he has that little bit of Debo factor in him also potentially. It'd be interesting if the Titans decide to use him that way. I think the major concern was just his 40 time for a guy this size. Even though he is big, it was a bit slow in the 4.5s, 4.6 range consistently. But I think his continuous production with questionable quarterback play will fit right in with the Titans, because they are also a team who's very good with questionable quarterback play. So I think this is a good fit. I think they made the best of a situation which they otherwise would not have been able to, considering they could not pay AJ Brown next year. It's better to get at least a potential replacement for him in this draft than to lose him for absolutely nothing. Getting him for a first and a third is a really solid amount. And who knows, it's AJ Brown is probably an injury away from becoming just an average wide receiver. And who knows, maybe this could be a Stephon Diggs for Justin Jefferson sort of trade again, maybe just on a lesser level. I would give this probably an A minus for the Titans here. I think that Treylon Burks is probably the best wide receiver, and since their hand was pretty much forced, I think this is probably the best they could have done with this pick.
Yeah, I agree. I'm giving this an A overall. I think when you look at how fast receivers have been coming off the board, I think the Titans really needed to make this move right now in order to get one of the kind of top 5 or 6 guys. And I think they did a good job with this trade. I think a third round pick is decent considering the fact that AJ Brown really was kind of controlling this whole negotiation. So I think this is basically all they could have done, and they got a great player to kind of back up, or not back up, but play with Robert Woods and kind of give the Titans that strong receiving core they've been looking to build for so long with Julio Jones and AJ Brown, which unfortunately didn't work out for them. So that wraps it up for this video, reacting to this insane trade with the Titans, giving away AJ Brown to move up into the first round and draft Treylon Burks. Let us know what you think of this whole trade fiasco and really all of the trades that have been going on in the first round. It's really unprecedented how much chaos is going on so far. This is the Benchwarmers, and we're signing out. See ya.